Hello, Vipin. Good morning. It's good to see you. Good morning. Let's wait for a few more participants to come in. Ah, what a month it's been. We've been going on and off and on and off. Well, I've been struggling myself personally with my health, but yes, it's always nice to be back here. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Good morning. So today we are at day 26. We are at day 26 ego. And today we are going to draw a full portrait as compared to the lot of the objects that we see. I thought that today let's experiment with something that we've not done before. So today what we are doing is we are doing a this full portrait of Marcus Aurelius. So for those of you who do not know, hello, Mahita. Good morning. For those of you who do not know, Marcus Aurelius is the great Stoic Roman emperor. So Stoicism is you can't say Stoicism is a religion, but Stoicism is a philosophy, a school of thought that was followed by the ancient Romans. And Stoicism is has deep roots with Buddhism. So Stoicism basically has these assets, these sites such as justice, temperament, justice, temperament. There are these pillars to it. Most of the time, Stoicism is a practical anger management tool, anger and stress management tool, equanimity, all these things. So I have come across Stoicism from this book by Marcus Aurelius himself. So he was a Roman emperor, and he's a Roman emperor who wrote a spiritual book. So you can say he's one of the rare emperors. He's one of the truly rare emperors who has had the worldly wealth, the power, like one of the most powerful Roman emperors, yet worldly wisdom. Hello, Pooja. Good morning. So all this made him one of the most prominent figures in whole of Stoicism, and I would strongly recommend you all read Meditations by Marcus Aurelius. It's a really wonderful book and one that can truly be life changing. So with all that said, let us start. Let's start with our squat, our morning meditation, sketching Marcus Aurelius. Hello, Hemant. Good morning. Okay, so here I want to start by first drawing a center line. I want to start by positioning a center line here. I don't want to, since I'm drawing a face, I want to make sure that it is, what is it, centrally aligned. So you can use a scale if you want that, you can use a scale. Let's start by setting a center line. This helps make sure that the coming at the center. So now you can see that the face isn't straight looking at you. Whenever you're drawing a portrait or a face, you can either have this looking straight up to you, you can have the person turn sideways, which is the profile view, or you can have the look of the person turn at an angle, which is the 3/4 view. So this portrait that we are drawing is a classic example of the 3/4 view. So it's you can see the face is tilted, slightly tilted and looking, it's almost like it's turning towards you or turning away from you. All right. Yes. Sanchari, good morning. Good to see you. Good to see you. Okay. So now that I have this ready, I can start by first drawing the shape of the face. So now the shape of the face is like the circle. So start by just drawing a freehand circle here. So just start by with the freehand circle. So the circle will encompass the head, the hair, and all that. Okay, so we'll start with the hair that's coming. You can see the hair is going to come outside here. So the hair it will include, most of the head it will include. You just start with the freehand circle. Notice how I am gripping my pencil a little away. Your hands might be a little rusty. So in the mornings, you can just start by moving this hand, because you have to, after this, you have to draw a lot of complex and organic shapes. Start off with the freehand circle. Take your time and just move your hands around to create it. So I'm deliberately just drawing extra lines to just get my hands used to the motion. And after this, what you want to do is you want to complete the shape of the face. You want to complete the shape of the face with, see, when you're drawing this thing, this is where the game of the angle lies. So if you're drawing this in a way that this is at the center and this is coming here, then it looks like the face is looking straight onto you. However, when you're drawing this, you draw it in such a way, that this has more of this tilted towards this side, and you are completing it. Then you can really get this look as if it's turned away. So this part is where the game lies. And how long should this be? A good way to look at that is, take the circle that you've drawn, take its radius. Okay, the circle that you've drawn, take its radius and just push that radius outwards. So that is how much you should have this. Just push that radius outwards and see. And then you can extend the neck outside of this. This is the basic shape. So now you can see that you are getting the basic shape of the face. Just refine this a little more. Just draw this, push this, and then you can draw the neck here. You can draw the neck here, and so see, just drawing the neck, the clothing. Make sure that the neck is like this nice thick stalk. You can actually have it slightly slanted. Correct. So now complete the shape of the head here. If you've drawn any incomplete shapes at this stage, you want to complete this, right? Exactly. And we started with simple shapes and now we are doing portraits. So which is why we always say trust in the process. And I wanted to give you a taste of everything at this stage here. So now it's time. Now that you have the basic shape of the face ready, make sure that you're satisfied with the angle. Just look at it and see if this is coming. So you don't want, overall you want this to look satisfactory as this egg shape that is slightly turned away from you. Think of this as an egg shape. Imagine that is slightly turned away from you. How does that look? So it's not symmetrical, but yet it has to look balanced. See, these are two different things. On one hand, it is looking symmetrical, but here symmetry is not needed because it's turned away. But on the other hand, even though this is looking here, you don't want it to look unbalanced. You don't want it to look out of proportion. So you look into all that and you complete this. So you can also add the clothing, and that is give this the complete context. Leave a little bit of space above and below. Then the next step to do when making the face is to draw the two important lines. So the two most important lines when it comes to drawing the faces, one that runs through the center vertically, okay, that divides the face into two and runs vertically. So this has the nose, lips, okay, the center of the chin, it runs through the center of the eye, and that is one line. Then there is a second line that goes like this, which runs through the eye. Both of these lines have to be at the respective centers. Okay, so for example, the vertical line that runs has to be horizontally at the center. The horizontal line has to be vertically at the center of the face. Now here we are presented with a challenge because as So here we are presented with a challenge. As he's turned away, it's not really at the center. But yet you have to draw a line that looks like it's running at the center of the face, but not, you don't draw it at the center. So just imagine if this shape was, we already had visualized this as an egg shape. Imagine if this egg shape was were turned, how would its center be affected? You want to bring in a slight curvature into it. Don't draw it as a straight line, because all of these are 3D shapes. If you're drawing a straight line, then it'll, you'll be cutting it flat. So we've learned this about contouring and all that. So you want to apply the lessons on contouring here, and you can simply add a nice little curvature into it. So now it looks, although it looks as if it's cutting the face at the center, I have brought, according to how much I have turned, I have adjusted the line. Okay, I have adjusted the position of the line so that it looks like it is cutting the face at the center, but it's not really running through the center. Now remember that this is where the nose is going to be. So you don't want to make it too much towards this side, then it will look like the nose is dislocated. You don't want to make it too much towards the left, then that will completely lose the sense of proportion. Don't bring it at the center as well. And then the eyes. Always remember the eyes is positioned at the center of the face. Okay, eyes is always at the center of the face, and then similarly you can just check what is going to be the center of this of the face here. So here you go, it's almost 8.5 and 4 point. So this is where eyes are going to be. Now, since he's looking slightly upwards, it's okay if you, even if you position it slightly up, that's completely all right. But remember that the eyes are at the center. This is challenging because he's not only is he looking sideways, he's also slightly looking upwards. So you want to bring in both of these dynamics into this, and notice how I have curved this upwards. So this curve of the shape like this, okay, this upward curve of the shape in this way helps me capture the position of the eyes as though it is looking upwards. Like when you're drawing phases, when you're drawing a circle, if you're drawing something, if you're drawing the horizontal line like this, then that means the eyes will be looking down, right? If you're having this straight, then the eyes is looking straight. On the other hand, if you're curving this upwards, that's when you know that you're drawing as though he's looking he's bringing that slight upward tilt. So you want to show that this is pride. You want to show that. Then the next step is, let's draw the line of hair. So the line of hair, a good way to estimate the line of hair is almost the 1/5 of this, right? So when this is here, it's this, and I'm almost taking the 1/5 of this. In fact, it's 1/5 to 1/6. That portion is a good way to draw the line of hair. You just want enough forehead, but not too much forehead. Okay. So now you have the line of hair. You have this. You can set the appropriate position, and you can draw the hair. So you can draw the hair. Without any of these details of this. So if you look into the details, you'll see curls, you'll see this. Without any of these details, simply show the position of the hair. All right. So now, what do you say? You can draw the hairline like this, like I said, almost 1/5. Here also you can simply, like at an appropriate position, you can draw this, because this is where the, what do you say, the sideburn, the beard is going to grow out of this. So you can just start by showing these as lines. Okay, you can start by showing these as lines. just at an appropriate, just almost an approximate position for the line. We'll correct, we'll come to refine these later. Now, before drawing the rest of the features, we have to add a few more lines here. So above this, so this line that we are drawing, remember that this is where the center, this is the center of the eye. So if I'm drawing eyes here, I mean, I'm not drawing eyes, I'm just showing a representation here. If I'm drawing eyes here, this line is going to be the center of the eyes. Now above this, I have eyebrows. So I want to draw line here that shows where the eyebrows are. Right now, just draw dummy eyes. I call this the dummy eyes, like just a very fish-like shape, just a very, what do you say, suggestive eyes. And if you're drawing suggestive eyes, you want to be careful. You want to be careful that you're drawing something that looks appropriate. I mean, don't draw such small eyes here and say that's dummy eyes. Neither do you want to draw so big eyes that it looks unreal. No, I mean, just appropriate, most appropriate size, whatever you think your intuition is telling you, draw that. So that's what you call the dummy eyes. And above that, we'll draw one more line here. That will be the eyebrows. A lot of this is about understanding the proportions. Okay, this is where the eyebrows are going to come. This one line. Next thing is, now we have the eyes, we have the chin. So find the center. Be very careful at this stage, because I'm going to mention a lot of guidelines at this stage, and you want to stay clear on each one of those guidelines if you want to get through the drawing correctly. So you have the center line, then you have the chin. Find the center of both. Okay, find the center of both, and that is where the nose line is going to be. Okay, your nose is going to be at the center of your eyes and your chin. Okay, then between the nose and the chin, you have the lips. So not exactly the lips, but the lower line of the lips is going to come at the center between the nose and the chin. So you can draw a line. Okay, so this is where this is the position for the nose, and this is the position for the lips here. So now that I have this, below this is where the beard is going to come. So I can start making suggestions for the beard. In between this, the mustache is also going to come. I can start by making suggestions for the mustache. So, I mean, just start getting into the small details, capture the small details, and you can, and it'll start looking like that person. Yeah. Then let's mark this position for the beard. Remember that I have slightly altered the portrait. Like if you look at this portrait, you'll see that he is looking up. The face is also slightly slanting upwards. I have eliminated that upward slant for the sake of simplification. Otherwise, if you were to draw it in full in this complete correctness, you would also have to bring a slight upward slant to make it seem like he's looking upwards, and to get that complete view. So we are eliminating one layer of complexity to just make sure that we are getting this right. And you have this, and you know that below this is going to be more of the beard, the locks. I can simply, just doodle that, and simply doodle that, doodle this. So now you have the very rough position of the beard. Let's refine the shape of the face at the stage. Right now, initially we drew it as an egg, but you can add some definitions to the forehead, probably bring this inwards. Then you know that there is a bone that goes outwards here. So like right outside of the eyes, like you can almost feel it, that there is this bone outside of the eyes that is bumping outwards. So you can add that thing. Then there is a, what do you say, there is a cheekbone that is again just slightly bounding up. You can add all these definitions to the face to make it seem like it's the face of the person. Otherwise, I mean, none of our faces are perfectly round, so you can just add in this chiseling of the face. You can see it's complete the beard, and the hair is going to come here. So you can also start by adding the outlines for the hair. Okay, as we do this, before coming on to the other side, one element that is missing here are the ears. So remember the position of the ears. The position of the ears is going to be such that your ears starts at the level of eyebrows. Here, ear starts at the level of eyebrows and it ends at the level of center of the lips. So this is the position of the ears. So now here we are going to bring some, what do you say? We're going to bring some changes. We're going to bring some changes to this very normal definition of the ears. I'm sorry, not lips. Your ears will end at the position of the nose. Your ears, if you bring it till the lips, that is the Buddha's proportion. I'm sorry. So you start at the position, this line that you drew the eyebrows, that is where you start this ear. So just imagine this text and this line coming outways, and you know that this is the position of the ears. So a lot of this depends on the angle, and you correct that. That's why we are drawing all these lines there. So just get this shape, this fleshy shape, and complete it. You're also going to complete at the level of the nose. Okay, so now we have the ears coming here. So just adjust the position. Don't make it. You don't want to make this too much inside the face. Okay, just leave it outside. So here the face is coming, and you want to make sure that you're drawing the ears outside of the face, not going too inward, just leaving enough gap. A problem that I've seen a lot of people do is bringing the ears too close to the eyes. So as a rule, you can leave almost the gap of two eye different here. So the sideburn is coming. Okay, so right now you have the beard that's coming here, the beard that's going inwards. You can show this. And there is just that side that's coming. So then there is the hair that's coming, and you can overall just complete the shape of the face this way. Overall, simply complete the shape of the face this way. So right now you will see that you would have gotten most of the features right. If you have been following my instructions thoroughly and you've been drawing the lines, you've been careful about the shapes. A lot of sketching this also requires you articulating the shapes correctly. Like despite all the formal instructions, place the lines there, position this here, unless you have a certain caliber where you're careful to make these shapes correct, the shape of the ears for example, and if you're getting it correct only then it works. So now we can draw the in a position to add the rest of the hair. Okay, so we can add this like very thick hair. So here we go, we have the the 3/4 view of Marcus. Remember that what we've been drawing here, the rules that we've been following is the same, not just for this but for every portrait. Every portrait that you're drawing the 3/4 view, these follow the same instructions. Now what makes them unique is the uniqueness that you're bringing in their features. Someone has a beard, someone does not have a beard, the particular shape of the nose, particular shape of the eyes, the basic proportions of every person. Every person's face is the same, just as we learned about the body, human body, where the proportion of everyone is the same. For the face also, It's the same unless someone has serious deformity. Now here we're going to add the rest of the features such as the nose and all. So for the nose, I want to show there are two parts to the nose. One is you have this round portion, which you can call the ball of the nose. Then you have this bridge, the nose bridge connecting here. So this nose bridge you can draw like this line that you drew here. This is should be the center between both the eyes and between where this, what do you say, this nose thing ends here. So you draw the ball of the nose, make sure that you're projecting it nice and well. Draw this, curve this in and curve this out, curve this in and curve this out. You want to add a nice little arch here, nice little arch here. You can add, we can later add, chisel the nose as well, like small uniqueness that we are bringing into this. And we'll add the, we'll bring a nice curvature into the eyebrows. Okay. Then similarly, just leave a little gap, a respectful gap, because you know that the nose is going to be of a particular thickness. Okay, and we can draw the other eyebrow. Another important step, another important part to know when you're drawing this is to remain unattached, is to remain detached to the dummy eyes that you've drawn. Remember that it's dummy eyes and we are going to replace that soon. So don't get attached to what you're drawn earlier for the eyes and think that this is exactly how it should be. So I need to adjust the rest of the nose accordingly. Now that will make your drawing look very deformed. When you're drawing the nose, actually look at the reference, look at the image and see how wide it needs to be, and act accordingly. At the same time, it's just we are leaving a good enough space here, and then draw the rest of the features. So focus on, as you're drawing each features, focus on correcting them, making sure that you correct them, and what do you say, adjust the rest of the thing according to these more lately drawn correct features. Like the ones that you drew earlier, chances are that most of them are not the best representations. Okay, so now we have the eyebrows as well. Make sure that you, as much as possible, you're trying to get the most accurate shape for this. You just try to correct it here. You're drawing this, you're trying to shape this. Then trying to shape this here. Then can you rotate the camera? I think horizontal view is a good one that we can draw in. It's more YouTube friendly. Otherwise, the phone keeps telling me to rotate the device. So now here, I'm going to draw the rest of the, I'm going to now draw the eyes, the correct form of the eyes. So now that we have the nose, just leave a little bit of gap here. And when you're starting out on drawing the eyes, remember that eyes are located within this eye cavity. So in the skull, if you look at the skull, there is a hole and the eyes are plugged onto it, right? Eyes are like this ball that's plugged into that hole of the skull. So we will start by drawing the eye cavity, like almost, like how big the eye cavity will be. We'll start by drawing that. Now this is going to be slightly big. This is going to be, of course, it's going to be slightly big, but it's a good position to start and get a sense of perspective on how big the eyes should be. Okay. So we draw, and then similar, you can do the similar thing for this side as well, knowing that the eyes at maximum could be this much. So an interesting thing about eye cavity is that the eye cavity, when you're drawing this eye cavity, it will include the eyes, it will include both the eyelids as well. So like when within this hole, I will have my eyes, I will have both my eyelids. Now Uh, Here's an eyelid. Here's an eye socket here. Here's an eye socket. Remember that horizontally there isn't a lot of difference in the width. Like when the eyes are actually starting, horizontally there isn't a lot of difference. So I'm just drawing now how an eye will look within this eye socket. So horizontal, what do you say, sideways, it's not going to make a lot of difference. Your eyes are going to fit correctly. So make sure you don't draw it too wide. But at the same time, remember that once I have this eyes, now there is this eye, you say, the eyelid that I have to draw on the top. There is an eyelid that I have to draw on the bottom as well. Right. And then there is a, what is there is a small gap between the eyes, small tissue, after which you can see we have the eyebrows. So your eye cavity will include the upper eyelid, the eyes, the lower eyelid, and this, what do you say, and this uh, muscle tissue here. So in fact, you can just feel your hand over your eyes and you can see that right below your eye, below your eyebrows, you'll see there is this, suddenly there is a cavity where your eyes are beginning and then it ends after your lower eyelid. So this entire portion is this cavity and that's what you're drawing. But on the sideways, there isn't any gap because there's nothing to fill here. So this is how we are going to look at it as we draw. Just feel, just touch your hand, feel your eyes, where the cavity, you can actually feel the cavity around your eyes and you can study it that way. So now I have this. I'm going to start by putting the features here. So the elbow. So start with this tissue here. Then there is a eyelid. Upper eyelid. The lower eyelid as well. We draw, and what the gap that's in between is the eyes. So this is the simplest way to understand and draw the eyes. Now take a little practice until you get the shape perfect, until you perfect this shape and you're truly happy with the shape. But this way you can pretty much get a very practical eye here. So let's try that again here. So here we have the eyebrows, and then you can see that we first start by adding a, looking at these eyes is not just one thing, but as these small pieces that we put together is an excellent strategy when it comes to drawing eyes. So here I want to start by first. I want to start by with the upper tissue, then the upper eyelid. Make sure that all of this is in line. Upper tissue, then there is this, then there is the upper eyelid. Then you also add this. So instead of drawing the eyes, you're drawing only the surrounding areas of the eyes. So if you're thinking of drawing the eyes, chances are you'll always be intimidated. You'll always be intimidated and you'll generally be scared of just drawing it. But if you're drawing the surrounding areas, you will see that it becomes much more effortless to draw. Make sure that you get the shape of this, the bend, the arch, the curves. It's these things that form these things. It's these nuances that form the eyes here. So you want to correct this. Make sure that you're happy. This, take your time until you draw this, and bring that. The most important thing here is the symmetry. So notice how I'm making sure that the left and the right eyes are matching, and it doesn't feel like it's trying my best to make sure it's that are one person. Otherwise, a lot of times there's lack of symmetry between both eyes, and that kills the portrait. So now we have the eyes. So I'm happy with this. I have correct this. I'm correcting this here. Like an improve a little bit on the eyes, eyebrows. So start adjusting this here. Great. So now I have now I like this. I like the position of the eyebrows, and I like all these things here. So now here I can now start by drawing the much more smaller features, such as the see the position of these muscles here. Then the smaller, the cheeks. You can draw the cheeks. You can define the nose here. So the nose, this is the side of the nose. This part is of the nose is called the wings of the nose. You draw that. And I mean, after the session, you might feel compelled to try it again, because maybe you're not very happy with the first result. You're absorbing a lot of information for this time, for this session, and chances are that it can get a little overwhelming to absorb the information, to learn, to also draw, and probably your hands, when you're not ready for this earlier. Feel free to try again. I assure you, the second time you try, this will land. This will hit you much more strongly, and you will be more comfortable drawing it. I mean, always this is a game of repetition. The first time you might get something that is mediocre and you're not happy about it. Next time it gets better, and it keeps getting better. So now here I'm now defining the moosh. So you can reduce refine the shape of this moosh here, and you know that a lot of this is now going to go down and detailing when you're inking. So you want to add the external features here, because the beard, don't restrict the beard on here. I mean, it's a very thick beard that he has. So you add you're not afraid of adding the beard over this. Like you add this outside, right outside. So this entire shape of this beard comes, and yeah, yeah, all the locks of this comes. Let's draw the other shape here between this. Don't leave gap between the mustache. Just make sure you're making it part of one whole. Correct this here. Correct this. Correct this here. Front, just come in this here. And there you go. So now we have defined these lot of these areas. Let's also add a center line for the lips. Just a center line for the lips, and now you know that the lips are also defined. The rest is now the rest of the magic. Most of the magic now is comes to inking. So you know the hair, the design. You can doodle the hair, the design of this, how this doodle goes. All these you can make these things. You may be wondering, why haven't you drawn the eyeballs yet? Yes, we'll get there. We'll get there. I like to add the eyeballs towards the end, after all the other work is done. I like to add the eyeballs, because I believe that once you add the eyeballs, the portrait, that's when the portrait gets life. That's when the portrait gets life, once you complete the eyes and it looks complete. So I like to, my personal approach is, I mean, I'm not saying this is the approach. My personal approach is that I like to add the rest of the features, at least the rough part of it, before giving it that final look. So now I'm just drawing the bringing out the curls, the curl shape of the hair. You just have to. There's no trick here. You just need to look at the hair and understand the individual curves, the locks, and just be patient enough to draw it. It's like doodling, just decoding a pattern, and you're drawing this. Simply doodling that you're doing here. So the hair, you're bringing this. So this one. Let's add a little bit of details for the beard as well. So now the beard is also sketched. All right. So now have a good look at the drawing that you made. Are you happy with this? What do you think? What do you think of this portrait that you've drawn? It's for a lot of it. This might be your first portrait. So what do you think? Are you happy? Are you happy with the drawing that you made? Like, what do you think? Where do you think you can correct it next time? How's your experience? Just have a good look and take some time to appreciate the effort that you put in. Onto this, we can simply add semicircles, not full circles, semicircles. And just at the center, filling the most 60% of the space. So 60 to 80% is what you should aim for. Just fill these eyes, and there you go. The eyes are also done and completed. So now always remember when you're drawing the eyes, the it's funny, a lot of the time when you're drawing the eyes, we tend to draw like this. So now this looks like a cat eyes. Like it's like, oh my god, I'm scared, right? Looks like someone is in a shock. So you can in fact add this exclamation mark here and it looks like he's in a shock. The eyes that we most often see has its upper portion covered entirely by the eyelids and the eyes, and only the lower portion you will see that it is rounded. This is a more appropriate shape on drawing the eyes. You will see that some of this portion is covered, but that is exactly how our eyes are. You'll see the iris is going to be on this, and this is the most appropriate thing. So that's what we have done here. Positioning the eyes that way. So let's position the eyes, iris, this one. Okay. So now we have the face. Now we have the face of this ready. Step forward is to start inking, is to start detailing. So take your pens 003, 005, 01, whatever pen, 03, whatever pen you're going to use the most, and start detailing them. So I'm going to start with my 005 pen. Start detailing, start inking. So I like to start when I'm inking, I like to start inking from the very center of this. It just helps me get the essence of the drawing real quick. Be careful as you're drawing. Remember that the positions are still fluidic. As in, you can still bring up changes, as even when you're inking, it doesn't exactly have to be above the pen line. If you feel that maybe you're not happy with the lines, one of this, maybe you're not happy with eyebrows or the eye lines as you're inking, you can, of course, bring in more changes here. And with inking, it's possible. Like always, remember that the pencil lines are there to guide you. Okay? He has a slightly serious expression, not a humorous one. Slightly serious expression, but not tense. I mean, you can never see that it's tense. It's relaxed yet serious. He, that like more like a man on a mission. Yet he's confident, a cool confidence. That's the stoic expression. A cool confidence with a sense of seriousness. Small nuances on these eyes. So now we're detailing the shape here. Not getting into the inside the eyes yet, as you can see. I'll leave that for later. But I'll detail the other areas, such as the shape of the face and other parts. It's not going to get into detailing inside the eyes. So now just draw the outside edges of these things. So since there's a lot of lines that's here, you can often get confused on what to draw, what not to draw. Since you're focusing on inside the face, simply draw the lines that are outside. So the rest of this don't matter because that can be done later. Can be done later, and that's we are now only defining the boundaries for this. And remember that these are fluidic, like just because you drew a pencil line earlier doesn't mean you have to stick to it. See, even I'm adjusting on the go. Like I brought in small adjustments as I'm doing this. Because every time I'm looking into the face, I'm making new discoveries. And I know that with each line, I should aim towards bettering it. So the different stages of portrait drawing is that the first stage is when you are uh, you're drawing and it looks like nothing. It looks what do you say? Yeah, it has nothing to do with the person. The next stage is it has a certain resemblance. Third stage is yes, you got the person. Now then beyond that, you can even go beyond that. The really experienced ones, the masters, they really flatter the person, so they know that what are the features that are the best for them, and then they like to exaggerate on those features so that it really stands out. So that's in that way you're flattering the portrait. That's when that magic touch, that divine touch comes. So now we're now just simply defining these shapes here. Some of these you can just show as solid lines. A lot of this is the beard, design of the beard. Lips are slightly tilted downwards, so I'm respecting that. The downward tilt here. So as a result, now I know that the face can be slightly longer. So as you keep doodling, now at this stage you can approach this with the spirit of doodling. As you keep doodling and as you can see the shape keeps evolving, you can add in more length. You'll see you can create that perception of adding in length to the face. And that really helps give that regal, that Roman look aiming for. I mean, you don't want to make his face appear short, right? So now give him a nice long beard here. So I've extended beyond what I've drawn with pencil. I've extended here because I'm drawing and making these discoveries. As I'm inking, I'm making these discoveries. I'm now slowly. You see how I am, rather than moving in a when I'm inking, rather than moving in a phase by phase manner. When we are penciling, we're moving in a phase by phase manner. First, draw the shape, then draw the lines, then slowly start with the easiest features, then move on to the difficult features. So with pencil, we're following that very phase by phase methodical approach. But with pen, I am just letting the pen lead the way rather than letting my mind dictate every step along the way. So which is actually stifling. With inking, since you already have the sketch ready, you can just let the pen lead the way. I never thought, as I was starting, I never thought that I would draw the beard in this much detail. But what do you say, it just led, things just led to it. Part of this process is freeing your mind, emptying your mind, and just relaxing into the present moment, completely relaxing yourself into the drawing, surrendering to the now. So that's when this whole state of letting go happens, and you are no longer trying to control everything. You're not trying to control everything. You're not so obsessed about trying to get everything right that you naturally enter a state of flow. Of course, you got to be conscious of what you're doing. It's not like I'm saying just forget all that, but you're relaxing into the drawing slowly. I mean, the first stage is when you are sketching with pencil, you're always very tense. We have a lot of tension whether this is coming right, whether that is coming right. But after a while, you can see that like all that need not be. I mean, you start off with the methods. But after a while, you let go of those. You forget all those same methods. Just let it be. See, now I'm this doodling is now expanding, and I'll come a full circle here. I'll come a full circle here. I'm not going to draw the entire phase in this 100% detail. Okay, that's going to take an insane amount of time. If I wanted to do that, that's going to take an insane amount of time. But I will just enjoy this doodling, and I will see how much this drawing will take me. So now coming back down here, you can in fact practice hatching and cross hatching over this also. And you can do all that. Let's slowly one line at a time. Stage you can take this very relaxed doodling approach like your drawings and lines. Don't be obsessed about every shape. Just try to get the overall gist of this correct. This is forming a pattern, a very strong pattern. So you want to just try and get this pattern, this feeling of pattern, right? Let's just totally into this. Uh, so now I'm, what do you say, slightly adjusting this hair here. I'm not making it as wide as I initially drew because I find it not necessary. So I'm just slightly making it narrower than here because I want to retain this 3/4 look. It's best if I brought most of the volume towards this side and reduce the volume here. So doing so will help me preserve the look. I mean, if I added, so there are two things to observe when you're drawing in 3/4 view. One of the things is you want to make sure that you leave an additional gap on the towards the side towards which he is looking. The person that you're drawing is looking. So for example, Marcus is looking towards the side. You can see I've left a little bit of additional gap here and focused more volume and left a little gap here, so that will help me create that feel as if he's looking towards the side. Just try it. You do the opposite, leave little gap here, more gap here, you wouldn't get the same effect. Second thing is adding more volume and details along here, just showing less here. This will help again create that sense of depth, which is very important for getting this feel into this. So now we have drawn the entire face here, the beard, the mustache. I mean, if you wish to detail, you can keep on working, you can keep on working endlessly on this. And there's no limit. There's no limit to how detailed that you can go. So I'm going to soon wrap it up. Starting with I'm now going to add the clothing here to just give a little bit of context. This can be done very easily. Let's just draw these shapes here to show how this goes. To show the shape here. There. So now I have added this clothing piece here. Okay, and finally I want to add in the details, the depth and the details for the eyes. So I'm doing that with the 005 pen. Very carefully. That's one eye. And similarly for the other eye as well. Other eye as well. Adding them and just adding a little bit of depth here on the top and on the sides to simply reinforce its position. It's not what do you say, just adding this slight amount of depth so that the eyes look enhanced. Right now you're using depth as a tool to highlight a certain aspect of the drawing. That's about it. That's about it, guys. That's about it, guys. That's Marcus Aurelius for you. So you had such a kick start to the day. Stoic mornings to stoic morning. I congratulate every person who's been here from the beginning till the end. And I know it's been an excruciating session. I mean, we're doing a lot today. We did a lot today. And congratulations to every person who stayed through this thing. I mean, you guys have, no matter what level your drawing is, you guys have done remember, you guys have done an absolutely incredible job. Yeah, you have really outdone yourself. You've learned new lessons. You've tried something new, and you directly went. You directly stayed with me. We also took additional time for the session. If you notice, apart from a standard 45 minutes, we've been taking for almost 1 hour 8 minutes. The session's been, and you guys have been absolutely incredible. Patient, listening, carefully drawing. So share your work. I cannot see. Wait to see how well you guys have done this. Looking forward for more. And I'll be back tomorrow with a new drawing session, new drawing lesson every day. And let's kick ass. Take care, everyone. Have the most wonderful day ahead. I wish you all the very best. So write down, let me know how was your drawing experience today. So 26 10. Yes. Yes, of course you can draw again. Yes, of course you can draw again. You can of course draw again if you're not happy with what you drew. You can try again. If you want, you can add in more details into this. Is more. I mean, I've done only minimal hatching on this, but there is so much that you can add on.